Welcome to a new season of Now Innovating, a research to impact series at the University of Calgary. I'm your host, Julia McGregor. For our season 5 premiere, we're celebrating UCeed. UCeed is a series of startup investment funds backed by philanthropic support from the University of Calgary and managed by Innovate Calgary. In this episode, I speak with Dr. Lorian Taylor, CEO of LyfeMD, a social enterprise out of the University of Calgary that has received investment from UCeed's Social Impact Fund. LyfeMD is an evidence-based application to support diet and lifestyle solutions developed by health professionals. We will also hear from Pete Santosham, Executive Director of UCeed, to learn more about what UCeed is, what it has to offer, and the different investment funds. Hi, Lorian, and welcome to Now Innovating.
Thank you. It's nice to be here today.
I'm really happy you could join us. I'm excited to know more about you and LyfeMD. So I know previously you were the research director at the University of Calgary for the Alberta Collaboration of Excellence in Nutrition and Digestive Diseases.
Yep, that's correct.
And I know the research from that is what LyfeMD application is based on. So can you tell us more about how that research and clinical evidence really led you and your team to pursue creating an application?
Okay, well, really, this story started about 8 years ago now. And we started looking at how nutrition and other types of lifestyle therapies like yoga, breathing, and mindfulness, how they not only impact the gut microbiome, but also how they impact clinical outcomes. And so we started seeing really amazing responses in our patients that had inflammatory bowel disease that we were doing these studies in. So as a result, one of our funders, the University Hospital Foundation, had asked us as part of Ascend to create some kind of commercialized product where we could make sure that our research and all of the things that we were learning were getting into the hands of patients.
Oh, amazing.
So that's really where LyfeMD started. And what LyfeMD is it's a translation of all of those different therapies that we were testing, that in our clinical experience have worked with patients, and then using those therapies to try to make it easier for patients to know what to do that's actually going to make a difference to their health in terms of lifestyle behaviors and as a companion for medical or medication therapies.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. So you said the support from the University Hospital Foundation kind of made you think about that knowledge translation piece.
Yes.
So what really was your first steps of that innovation pathway that you did? What steps did you take? What were the resources that you really utilized to move that forward?
Yeah, so it really started with a phone call with Innovate Calgary. So
Excellent.
That's where it started. And at that time, I believe it was Nima that we were talking to. So we talked to Nima. He said, okay, we have a process for this at University of Calgary. We did the same thing in Edmonton, but found that the Calgary process was a little more defined and well-established. So we started talking to Nima to say, okay, what do we do next? Where do we go? Who do we get support from? We started talking to Jordana as well as part of UCeed and Innovate Calgary. And so they were extremely instrumental in us being able to move from a research group to a business group.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And this was back in 2018?
2018. And then we got referred over to the iTenet competition and became a finalist as just for the idea. We hadn't even done any work yet.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't even have a product. We just had ideas. And that was a real confidence builder for us because we made it to the finals with just our idea. And we thought, okay, we have something here that is interesting on a business level to consumers. So that really, I think, tipped the scale for us in terms of, okay, we're going to move forward. We're going to put a lot of time. We're going to put resources and a lot of brain power into what we're being able to offer to patients.
Hi, my name is Pete Santosham. I'm the Executive Director of UCeed, the University of Calgary's group of startup investment funds. UCeed is the first and largest venture philanthropy fund of its kind in Canada. It's a unique blend of entrepreneurially minded donors and commercially minded businesses that come together to create a very unique and first of its kind fund in Canada. So for example, we have a general health fund. We have a child health and wellness fund. We also have a neuroscience fund, a social impact fund, an energy fund, as well as a student-led fund, which has a slightly different mandate that's tied to educating the next group of students interested in venture capital. What is unique about UCeed is that we take donor dollars and we use them to help translate fundamental discovery into real-world impact. The difficult thing about research is the grant funding to develop an idea stops at fundamental discovery. So UCeed is what we would traditionally call a gap fund because it fills the gap between fundamental discovery and commercialization of that idea for real-world impact.
So you mentioned, talking with Jordana from the UC Social Impact Fund, and Nima is the Life Sciences Innovation Hub Manager at Innovate Calgary as well. And I know LyfeMD has received investment from the Social Impact Fund at UCeed. So how has that really helped you to kickstart or move your social enterprise forward?
Yeah, we wouldn't be where we are without that support. I found UCeed, even just getting the application together, it helps you to create a strong value proposition, a business case for what you're trying to do. And then the feedback, it's not like you're just left on your own. They give you lots of feedback into that process. We applied twice, we didn't get it the first time, and we came back after we got feedback into that process. I think also moving forward, even after you receive the funding, you get so much support in terms of having your own advisor. They're checking in with you every few months, giving you business advice, saying, how being able to talk about over your financial plans. They want you to be successful. And that really comes across. And I think we wouldn't be in the position that we're in at all without that support. I don't know if we would have even got off the ground.
That's amazing. And thank you for describing that, because I think some people just think it's this handing over a check, here's your investment, and then you're on your own. And that's amazing that UC provides all that full business support there.
Yeah, and they can really connect you. Calgary is a very strong business ecosystem for innovation and for startups. It's incredible, the different resources that are really very available. So what I found another benefit from my interaction with UCeed as well as Innovate Calgary was just that connection to other resources, connection to funding. We were successful. We got into Creative Destruction Lab.
Oh.
We wouldn't have done that without our connections at UCeed and that support from Innovate Calgary. So all of those things have gone to contribute to our success.
That's amazing. Yeah, the navigation piece, I think, for entrepreneurs
it's so hard.
Yeah, it's such a big ecosystem. Where do you start? Knocking on their doors, and oh no, you're not ready yet for this stage. Move forward.
Yes,
so that's amazing. They could provide that navigation piece to support you.
Yeah, and connections, because that's what I have found in the business ecosystem. It's all about who you know and who knows who, and making those connections. Because if people are going to invest in your business, they need to trust in who you are as a person. And so when you're getting those warm intros from people that they respect and that they know are smart and savvy business people, it makes a huge difference. Because people, when they're doing those types of intros, they're putting themselves on the line too, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an confidence builder as well for me as a CEO, or for the other people who work for our company who are talking to people, because they're saying, you know what, we endorse this person. Do you want to talk to them? So, and that has been when you're doing a startup, there's lots of ups and downs. And that positive feedback, those warm intros, it can be sometimes what keeps you going in terms of just because it can be such a challenge. Yeah. Knowing other people believe in you helps you to continue to believe in what you're doing and the importance of what you're doing.
Now Innovating attended the UCeed Celebration of Excellence event on November 7th. We had quick words from other founders, investment advisors, and key players who are involved with UCeed.
I'm Andrea Morris. I'm the Chief Development Officer at the University of Calgary. My role in UCeed is really helping to build the program in the first place. It was part of our Energize campaign, where our goal was to become Canada's most entrepreneurial university in the country's most enterprising city. So we built a lot of programs through philanthropy that support entrepreneurs, and UCeed was kind of the icing on the cake because it allowed us to also fund the ventures that are coming out of the labs and out of the classrooms at the university.
My name is Gada Nafi, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Fleetus Inc. It's a clean tech company that is looking to create energy solutions using nanotechnology. For us, UCeed is more than a fund. It's an ecosystem, it's a group, it's advisors, it's who we turn to when we have questions. So it's been tremendous working with everyone on the UCeed team. It makes a lot of difference for companies at early stages, including us, getting that kind of investment and fund into the company.
Jordana Armstrong. I'm the director for the UCeed Social Impact Fund, a fund that launched about 3 years ago with support from the United Way of Calgary area and the government of Alberta. I think it's a deep commitment to look at the unusual suspects and who get access to venture capital. So we think about women, we think about people of color, persons with disabilities. We're really trying to close that capital gap of who has access to capital, and we're trying to ultimately shift systems.
I run 2 VC funds. I'm the director of the Health Fund at UCeed, and I have my own VC fund focusing on AI and healthcare. Money is one thing, but like doing money properly, like investing money in companies that can actually grow and be huge businesses and actually investable companies, and then setting them up so that their valuations are appropriate for the next stage, so that they have the right business processes in place. So I think that's where UCeed can have a lot of impact, is helping set up businesses.
So we were talking to you about, those intros that were so important that Innovate Calgary gave you, and creating those partnerships and moving forward. And you can't do this innovation journey alone. So I'm really curious, could you tell us more about the partnerships that you have formed to really help support your journey with LyfeMD?
Yeah, so I think for our partnerships, we've had a lot of non-dilutive type funding grant opportunity partnerships, as well as then more of our really, our big first customers who really agreed with our idea and invested in our idea. And some of those non-dilutive partners were education grants from different pharmaceutical companies. So we were able to access money to support what we were doing with LyfeMD and develop and test programs using different educational grants. And then also Alberta Innovates has been absolutely instrumental to supporting us. We've received over $450,000 to support our business from them in different milestones and through different funding opportunities. So that has absolutely advanced the business. And they've been, again, a great support. They make great connections for us. And I would say probably Innovate Calgary and Alberta Innovates have been and University Hospital Foundation with the original funding around the idea have probably been the biggest partners in terms of helping us to move the business forward.
I'm curious too. So saying the innovation journey kind of began in 2018, and obviously it's going well because you were able to leave your position as a research director and being CEO full time for LyfeMD. So that's fantastic. So what milestones really has LyfeMD met so far? What are you most proud of accomplishment wise?
Well, I think we're really proud that in our first year we were able to generate $320K in revenue.
Amazing.
So we have business experience. I was a consultant for years and ran my own business, small business. Dr. Mechu Raman, one of my other co-founders, who's a gastroenterologist, also has she's a silver medalist karate champion.
What?
And her husband's in the Sports Hall of Fame. And so they have a karate business as well.
Oh my goodness.
That she's done for a number of years. So we had small business experience. But we're really proud of being able to get the company going, be able to show that there is market traction, that this is a service that different customers are interested in purchasing for their patients. And I think the other thing another milestone is really trying for us to figure out what is the easiest way for patients to do these things. So that journey over the last year and a half that we've been in the market has also been such a big milestone in terms of being able to identify those things, figure out for patients what they need, be able to give patients programs that they're interested in, that they'll do, and figuring that out as well has been, and seeing the improvement in traction that we've gotten from figuring some of those things out has really been, I think, a big accomplishment as well.
Yeah, the adoption piece is always the hardest, building it into patients' journey and patients' healthcare routines. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, so you're a registered dietitian and you're saying you're the co-founder, gastroenterologist, so you're a team of healthcare professionals background. So I'm really curious, what advice would you give to other healthcare professionals, that are looking to, take that first steps like you did back in 2018 to, take their evidence and really start an innovation?
I think I'd say talk to Innovate Calgary and protect your IP. That was the first thing that they helped us do. They said, Kate, you guys are going to need your own IP. Here's how you go about doing it. Here's some, legal firms you can talk to. Here's some accounting firms that might be able to help you. All of that information I wouldn't have even known where to start.
Well, I'm curious too, because when you said you did the pitch competition back in 22 at Tenet, like, do you have your IP protected then, or were you like keeping some of your ideas? Because it was still more just you didn't have a proof of concept yet.
Yeah.
So,
no, we didn't know to do that yet.
So I guess that's advice too, just thinking about that, or those early stage things, like when do you want to tell other people about the great work you're doing without getting stolen?
No, I agree. And I think that was why the focus right away was, okay, how can we get your IP into so that you own it instead of the university? What does that agreement look like? What's fair? That's the other thing I really value actually about the University of Calgary and Innovate is that they all really support you and make it so that you're not losing a ton of your value either as a company. I know there's some other universities that can take up to 30 or 40% of your company, where Innovate Calgary took 5%.
Wow.
And that makes it seem like then all of this work and this, moving forward and the difficult and the mountains you climb are worth it, because you are going to benefit from this, as your company grows and scales. So, and we're not losing 40% of that equity to the university. So that's made a big difference for us as well.
Excellent, especially as a social enterprise, right?
Yes.
Lorian, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your innovation journey.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
To learn more about the LyfeMD application, visit LyfeMD.ca. To learn more about UCeed and its portfolio of investments, visit ucalgary.ca/UCeed. The main interview for this episode was recorded at Innovate Calgary's Social Innovation Hub. The Social Innovation Hub supports innovators and startups solving social problems to grow and scale, and hosts many community events. Membership to the Hub includes access to the Expert Advisor Program, mentorship opportunities, creative studio, and co-working space. To learn more about the Social Innovation Hub, visit innovatecalgary.com/social innovation. To learn how to move your research to impact in the UCalgary innovation ecosystem, visit ucalgary.ca/innovation.